Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Jacob Clore. Calfee Park has been a staple of the town of Pulaski since 1935. After much-needed renovations, new teams want to play there. Not only have the Yankees made it their home, but now the Hokies will play at the park. Newsfeed reporter Samantha Hill has more on this story.
Calfee Park is a huge park in the town of Pulaski. It is the 9th oldest baseball park in the country, and John White, the town's economic development director, says the ballpark has attracted many talented players over the years.
So what's really interesting is that you can set up at Calfee Park and you can look at a player who may end up playing in the major leagues.
After much needed renovations to the park, including a new jumbotron, the ballpark has brought in new faces. Calfee Park has recently become the home of the Pulaski Yankees, and now college teams, like the Hokies, are playing at the field.
They did $7 million in renovations to that park that they just finished last year. Once the renovations were complete, it was something kind of more higher up in the administration where they wanted to see some baseball games, Virginia Tech games in particular, at that field in their off-season.
Austin Hartsook, the director of baseball operations, says playing at Calfee Park will be different from playing at English Field. With that being said, any ACC team is able to adapt to different playing fields. Hartsook also says the experience of playing at Calfee Park is key for Virginia Tech baseball players looking to play professionally.
Anytime we can get our players on a minor league field and kind of show them what it's like to play in an atmosphere that they might be thrown into in just a couple months later. Some of our guys are draft eligible. They could get drafted in June and get sent to the Appalachian League to play a month after our season ends. So for them to be able to get a taste of what those fields are like and to see maybe the fan bases they'll be interacting with is a great thing.
The town of Pulaski will also benefit from this relationship. When college teams come to play, visitors outside of the area come with them.
When people come to a game, they'll buy gas here, they'll get food at the stadium, they'll spend money. More importantly, they come to Pulaski.
Both the Virginia Tech baseball team and the town of Pulaski say that they hope this relationship continues in the future. In Pulaski, this is Samantha Hill reporting for the Newsfeed.
The Hokies fell to the Highlanders 5-1 at Calfee Park. Virginia Tech will play Duke on Friday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. at Calfee Park. Tragedies like the shootings in Charleston, San Bernardino, and Virginia Tech leave many wondering how to prevent violence. One organization, the Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, brought together different faith groups in Christiansburg for a prayer service to foster a greater understanding of each other, pray for an end to violence, and learn how individuals themselves can prevent violence. In this next report, I look into how the event went and what it accomplished. Asbury United Methodist Church in Christiansburg played host to the interfaith event. The Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy helped coordinate the event, which featured speakers from Christian, Jewish, and Muslim traditions. Ruth Green, co-leader of the New River Valley chapter of the Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, wanted the itinerary of the event to reflect the message of nonviolence.
The desire, as Reverend Taylor said throughout, was to read from sacred texts which reflected, the way I put it, is the respect for human life and the desire for peace in a really profound sense.
Green expressed a desire for an interfaith prayer service last year and worked with the planning committee on the event over 2 semesters. She felt a call to action after the shooting in Charleston last July. Charles Swadley, faith outreach coordinator for the Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, believes that events like these contribute to a greater understanding of differences and common ground among different faiths.
That the key ingredient to this, and will need to be reinforced, is to make friends and to be able to listen to one another.
Green, who also serves as a professor of plant pathology, physiology, and weed science at Virginia Tech, taught at the school when the April 16th shootings occurred. She does not want the event to be forgotten and hopes for reform in gun laws. Ultimately, she wants to stress the common humanity people of all creeds and beliefs share.
It is imperative, if we do feel some common spirituality, that the desire for peaceful coexistence never be lost sight of.
Nearly 100 attendees filled the church for the service, which exceeded the expectations of the planning committee. As a result of the event, Debbie Sherman Lee, co-leader of the New River Valley chapter of the Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, wants the event to be a call to action for those who attended.
I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, you're preaching to the choir for the people that are coming here, but as long as we're preaching to the choir, then we can get the choir to go out and speak about what happened tonight, and hopefully next year we will have a larger one.
The Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy hopes to make the prayer service an annual event in the New River Valley. Green says an event next year is still a dream, but only a year ago, the event for this year was just a dream. The campus kitchen recovers food from on-campus dining facilities to create nutritious meals for people in need. Since the Virginia Tech chapter launched almost a year ago, it has diverted and delivered over 10,000 pounds of food to people in Southwest Virginia. State health codes allow for food to be served up to 10 days after it's cooked, but dining halls dispose of the food after 3. Volunteers meet once a week in a donated kitchen space in Wallace to divert recovered food that would have gone to waste into a nutritious meal. Afterwards, they will also reflect on the experience to discuss what they did and how they envision campus kitchens growing in the future.
Today we just had a cooking shift in which we had some serve students and also some students that decided to volunteer on their own, come and prepare meals for Radford Valley Daily Bread, which is a private nonprofit that's located just outside of Radford University, and we serve about 120 of their clients, so pretty cool.
Currently, Virginia Tech diverts food from D2, Owens, and West End, but are looking to add Turner and Personal Touch Catering in the near future. They have also accumulated over 1,600 volunteer hours in the past year. Whether you're a student or a homeowner in the New River Valley, domestic fires are an easily avoided disaster. After a string of unfortunate fatalities in Roanoke County due to the fires in the home, many are wondering if a similar catastrophe could happen in their own home. Fire Code Marshal Wayne Garst spoke about the easiest ways to prevent the most common fires.
The most common fires in apartments or in homes are cooking fires, and it's usually because cooking is left unattended. You know, anytime you're cooking, stay with it. You know, keep an eye on it, stay close. And well, electrical fires, don't overload extension cords, don't overload circuits. If you do have an electrical fire, de-energize it or turn the power off to it. You can unplug it or turn a breaker off.
Home fires can be simple to prevent, but a small amount of carelessness can do a lot of damage to your home. Be sure to keep a fire extinguisher in your home and make sure that your smoke detectors are always functioning. Virginia Tech's Habitat for Humanity chapter hosted their annual Shackathon from April 10th to the 15th. Organizations built their shacks and camped out in them, raising awareness for those in need of shelter and offering fun prizes and entertainment in return for donations. Rain or shine, warm or cold, 24/7. The participants of Shackathon remained actively fundraising in Shacksburg in front of Squire Student Center. The 6-day event featured performances, contests, giveaways, food, and even puppies throughout the week. Senior Bailey Harrison of Alpha Omega Epsilon stopped by her sorority's shack in between classes.
Over the weekend, a bunch of sisters, did some really hard work and put it together. And then we also are selling magnets and donuts and all that stuff to try and raise money.
Their differently themed shacks ranged from a surf hut to a bed and breakfast. A portion of the proceeds will go back to the organizations to help cover building costs and raise money for their own philanthropies. Just ahead on the news feed, the Blacksburg Farmers Market has updated their spring hours. We take a look at how buying local can impact the community. And a Virginia Tech paleontology grad student is studying old dinosaur bones. Find out more about his research. That story and more after this break.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to the news feed. This week is No Hokies Left Behind Commit to Graduate Week in Blacksburg local middle schools. Reporter Kennedy McGrath is here to tell us more on this story. Kennedy?
Jacob, this is No Hokie Left Behind's second annual Commit to Graduate event that started Monday, April 11th and finishes Friday, April 15th. I went out to cover more on this story. Graduate is a local event held by the student-run group No Hokie Left Behind that occurs in local middle schools every day this week. Virginia Tech student athletes, Corps of Cadets, and Blacksburg High School volunteers take time out of their day to come and tell fifth graders how important it is to stay in school and start working hard now. Sophomore Beth Dangervich, a Virginia Tech Corps of Cadet Air Force student, shared her stories to the fifth graders at Harding Avenue Elementary School this week.
I found that this would be a good opportunity, and I enjoy interacting with elementary schoolers and middle schoolers, and it's just a fun experience to affect the younger generation. I know I'm not really an older generation yet, but definitely helping the people younger than me.
Sergeant Hayes is one of the program's leaders and works directly with all the local schools in Blacksburg and explains how important this program really is.
It became real important that kids start making the decision early on that they are going to graduate from high school. We saw a slight increase in teenage dropout. Kids hadn't committed to their future. They had no idea where they were going. And we felt it was important that they hear from people who are just like them. So we bring in college students, high school students from different backgrounds that can maybe have a relationship with a particular student.
No Hokie Left Behind is a student-run organization that has partnered with the Blacksburg Police Department to design and create new safety events and techniques to keep Blacksburg a safe place. Follow No Hokie Left Behind on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay updated on new events and projects.
Thanks, Kennedy. Paleontologists at Virginia Tech School of Geosciences have been making strides towards understanding more about close descendants of dinosaurs that lived over 240 million years ago and their growth patterns. Conclusions from a recent study conducted by a master's student are groundbreaking and give clues as to how dinosaurs grew from hatchings to adults. Master's student of the Geosciences program, Chris Griffin, has been studying bones of what he refers to as a close cousin of the dinosaurs. By looking at muscular scars on the bone, Griffin was able to determine many things about the growth of the species.
Instead, what we found that they were arrayed on a spectrum, with the very smallest individual not having any muscle scars, the larger individuals in general having more robust muscle scars, and then individuals in between having some muscle scars but not others.
Griffin's work was published in an article in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology. Griffin will be graduating with his master's degree this semester, but will continue to stay at Virginia Tech to pursue a PhD. Spring hours are now in effect for the Blacksburg's Farmers Market. Many students and community members alike use the farmers market for local groceries, flowers, special treats, and a place to hang out. Newsfeed reporter Kate Cashwell has more on the story about what you can find at the market.
Starting in April, the Blacksburg Farmers Market is now open on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Students and Blacksburg residents alike can find many items for sale at the market, including farm fresh meats, eggs, vegetables, honey, flowers, essential oils, and many other foods and handmade items. Most days of the market, there is music and lots of pets and families that come and visit. The farmers market takes place in the heart of downtown Blacksburg called Market Square, located on the corner of Draper Road and Roanoke Street, right across from the Armory and next to Benny's. All farm vendors at the market are within 50 miles of the Blacksburg area, making buying local easy. Farm owner Tanya Strange says selling at the farmers market really helps to reduce cost and also provides a lot of face-to-face interaction with customers, something you just can't get at a store.
I enjoy coming to the market because it's direct sales, so we get to have contact with the customer who's going to be, eating our food that we produced.
Farmers market volunteers agree that buying local has a lot of health benefits too. Students and residents can visit the market on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Wednesdays 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and can get involved volunteering. More information can be found online at www.blacksburgfarmersmarket.com.
This week, the Fashion Merchandise and Design Society at Virginia Tech hosted their annual live fashion show, Into the Wild. The show managed to have another great year of success. The fashion designers had a wonderful time working with this year's Into the Wild theme and being able to show off all their hard work for the runway. The show generated a large audience this year and was able to reach over 2,000 people on Facebook.
Every year with careful planning and promotions, publicity, we've been able to increase our attendance every year like by the hundreds. So we're hoping for that again this year. They're pushing for like 500 attendees. So like almost 100 more than what we got last year. So hopefully it turns out like that. As the president, I really hope that happens, and then it will get more awareness for our organization as a whole.
The Fashion Merchandise and Design Society is a great place for students who have an interest in fashion to get involved and get connected. If you would like to know more about the organization and how you can get connected, then visit them at www.vtfmds.com or follow them on Facebook. That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can also get connected with us on the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Jacob Flohr.